Hi friends, my name is Jenny. I'm coming to you from Jenny Lane Yoga, and I'm actually coming to you from my living room, where recently I've given a whole lot of Reiki sessions. And so I wanted to come on here and talk about how in-person Reiki works. I'm going to be doing a separate video on virtual Reiki as well. But how does in-person Reiki work? So first, let's start with, where did Reiki even come from? Now, as someone who is a Reiki master teacher, who is an ERYT 500-hour yoga teacher, who's a crystal healer, and who's on her way to seminary to become a minister in training, I'm really excited to explain to you where it came from. So the lineage that I come from is Dr. Usui, and I have been practicing under the Dr. Usui or under the Usui Reiki tradition since 2011. And I am incredibly excited to say that Dr. Usui was asked by one of his students, he was a college professor. They said, Dr. Usui, how did Jesus heal? That's how it started. That's how this whole thing started, is that he wanted to see, how did Jesus heal the blind, heal the lame? Like, how did he go in and perform these miracles? And the long and short of it is that it really is some version of Reiki, that there is so much credence and so much deep understanding and love and compassion and realness to the idea of the laying on of hands, right? And so when someone says the words, I'll pray for you, or when someone says the words, let me give you some Reiki, or let me send you some Reiki, or let me send you those good vibes, those are all going to get to you. And that's kind of how virtual Reiki works. But we'll talk about that later. So that's where it came from, is it stemmed from that question. I could go a lot deeper, but it stems from that question. Like, where did we start? Where do we start? Okay. And so what I have learned and what I have performed and what I have done in the last 10 plus years is, you want to take somebody's body from wherever they are into a place of neutrality, into a place of homeostasis. And the way that we do that now, as Reiki practitioners, we have all sorts of symbols and all sorts of magic happening kind of behind the scenes in our minds that we have learned. We have an attunement that we've been given so that we are more connected to our higher power. We are really intuitive, really in line, so that we're able to kind of connect and to be that vessel that's going to give you the Reiki energy. Now, quick side note, I'm not giving you Reiki. Energy, God, higher power, what have you, that's what's giving you Reiki. And it's this idea of like, I'm just a vessel that it's being channeled through. Almost like when you're in one of my yoga classes and I basically tell you to ignore me half of the time because I need you to be able to get quiet enough to listen to yourself, right? I digress. You are going to be, when you walk into a Reiki session, likely your energy is like all over here. And as a Reiki practitioner, it is my job to bring you back to neutral. Now, what happens is we have energies that are all over the place. Most of our lives are lived within what's called the positive ion realm. So positive ions are computers, cell phones, televisions, busy, crowded, noisy spaces, big cities, etc. Negative ions are crystals, pretty plants, and all sorts of smells and things that are going to bring you back to neutral and things that are going to ground you. Now, for a lot of people, the negative ion space is where you're going to thrive the most homogeneously, where you're going to feel the most neutral, where you're going to feel the best. But for a lot of people in our worlds as well, there is that positive ion space that they thrive in. And so my job is to really speak to a client, figure out what their energy is right now, and figure out how to make sure that I can help them get back to neutral. So I'm using all of those symbols, all of those thoughts, all of the attunements and things in my own being and my intuition to help your energy kind of slide back into neutral. The other thing is, or the other way that I describe it, is it's almost like music, right? So it's kind of like when you're feeling angry, when you're feeling way up here, for me, really angry old 2000s emo music helps me shift that energy. but for someone else, it might be classical rock or it might be instrumental music. And so whatever helps the person come back down to this space, it's just all about bringing the body back to neutral. And so Reiki can heal physical ailments. So if you have something going on in your shoulder, it is oftentimes, a lot of times, used for energy. So it's used for when the heart space feels off, when your throat, when your communication feels off, etc. And it works. End stop. And how does it work? Faith, magic, love. I don't know how to describe it. I just know that it works. And so that's kind of where it comes from and what the logistics of it are. But at the end of the day, it's trusting the process that the energy and the love are going to get to you to find that space of healing and to find that space of neutrality. I hope that's helpful. And I look forward to seeing you in another video. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Sat Nam.